Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of God, the most merciful, the most beneficent. I don't know where to begin my speech. I don't know what people would be expecting me to say. But first of all, I want to thank God, for whom we are all equal. And I want to thank every person who prayed for my fast recovery and a new life. I cannot believe how much love people have shown me. I have received thousands of good wish cards and gifts from all over the world. Thank you to all of them. Thank you to the children whose innocent words encouraged me. Thank you to my elders whose prayers strengthened me. There are hundreds of human rights activists and social workers who are not only who are not only speaking for human rights, but who are also struggling to achieve their goals of education, peace, and equality. Thousands of people have been killed by the terrorists and millions have been injured. I am just one of them. So here I stand, one girl among many. I speak not for myself, but for all the girls and boys. I raise up my voice not so that I can shout, but so that those without a voice can be heard. Those who have fought for their right to live in peace, their right to be treated with dignity, their right to equality of opportunity, their right to be educated. Dear friends, on the 9th of October 2012, the Taliban shot me on the left side of my forehead. They shot my friends too. They thought that the bullets would silence us, but they failed. And then, out of that silence came thousands of voices. The terrorists thought that they would change our aims and stop our ambitions, but nothing changed in my life except this. Weakness, fear, and hopelessness died. Strength, power, and courage was born. I am the same Malala. My ambitions are the same, my hopes are the same, and my dreams are the same. Dear sisters and brothers, I am not against anyone. Neither am I here to speak in terms of personal revenge for against the Taliban or any other terrorist group. I am here to speak up for the right of education of every child in the world. I want education for all the sons and daughters of all extremists, especially the Taliban. I do not even hate the Talib who shot me. Even if I have a gun in my hand and he stands in front of me, I would not shoot him. This is the compassion that I have learned from Muhammad, the Prophet of Mercy, Jesus Christ, and the Lord Buddha. This is the legacy of change that I have inherited from Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, and Muhammad Ali Jinnah. This is the philosophy of violence that I have learned from Gandhiji, Baka Khan, and Mother Teresa. And this is the forgiveness that I have learned from my mother and father. This is what my soul is telling me. Be peaceful and love everyone. Dear sisters and brothers, we realize the importance of light when we see darkness. We realize the importance of our voice when we are silenced. In the same way, when we were in Swat, the north of Pakistan, we realized the importance of books and pens when we saw the guns. The wise saying, the pen is mightier than sword, was true. The extremists are afraid of books and pens. The power of education frightens them. They are afraid of women. And that is why they killed 14 innocent medical students in the recent attack in Quetta. And that is why they killed many female teachers and polio workers in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Fata. That is why they are blasting schools every day. Because they were and they are afraid of change, afraid of the equality that we will bring into our society. I remember a boy in our school who was asked by the journalist, "Why are the Taliban against education?" He answered very simply by pointing to his book. The Taliban doesn't know what is written in this book. They think that God is a tiny little conservative being who would send girls to hell just by going to school. The terrorists are misusing the name of Islam and the Pashtun society for their own personal benefits. Pakistan is a peace loving, democratic country. Pashtuns want education for their sons and daughters. And Islam is a religion of peace, brotherhood, and humanity. Islam says that it is not only each child's right to get education, but rather it is their duty and responsibility. Honorable Secretary General, peace is necessary for education. In many parts of the world, especially in Pakistan and Afghanistan, terrorism, wars, and conflicts stop children to go to their schools. We are really tired of these wars. Women and children are suffering in many parts of the world in many ways. In India, the innocent and poor children are victims of child labor. Many schools have been destroyed in Nigeria. People in Afghanistan are affected by the hurdles of extremism. For decades, young girls have to do domestic child labor and are forced to get married at an early age. Poverty, injustice, ignorance, racism, and deprivation of basic human rights are the main problems that are faced by both men and women. Dear fellows, today I am focusing on women's rights and girls' education because they are suffering the most. There was a time when women social activists asked men to stand up for their rights. But this time, we will do it by ourselves. I am not telling them to step away from speaking for women's rights, but rather, I am focusing on women to be independent as they fight for themselves. Dear sisters and brothers, now it's time to speak up. So today, world leaders. We call upon the world leaders to change their strategical policies in favor of peace and prosperity. We call upon the world leaders that all peace deals must protect women and children's rights. A deal that goes against the dignity of women and their rights are unacceptable. We call upon all governments to ensure free compulsory education for every child all over the world. We call upon all governments to fight against violence and terrorism to protect the children from brutality and harm. We call upon all the developed nations to support to support the to support the expansion of educational opportunities of girls in the developing world. We call upon all the communities to be tolerant, to reject prejudice in based on caste, creed, sect, religion, or gender. To ensure the equality and freedom for women so that they can flourish. We cannot all succeed when half of us are held back. We call upon all our sisters from all over the world to be brave, to embrace the strength within themselves, and to realize their full potential. Dear brothers and sisters, we want schools and education for every child's bright future. We will continue our journey to our destination of peace and education for everyone. No one can stop us. We will speak for our rights and we will bring change through our voice. We must believe in the power and the strength of our words. Our words can change the world. Because we are all together, united by the cause of education, and we want to achieve our goal, then let us empower ourselves with the weapon of knowledge and let us shield ourselves with the weapon with unity and togetherness. Dear sisters and brothers, we must not forget that millions of people are suffering from poverty, injustice, ignorance. We must not forget that millions of children are out of schools. We must not forget that our brothers and our sisters are waiting for a bright, peaceful future. So let us wage a global a global struggle against illiteracy, poverty, and terrorism. And let us pick up our books and pens. They are our most powerful weapons. One, one child, one teacher, one pen, and one book can change the world. Education is the only solution. Education first.